What's going on, everybody? What's up, Crispy Critter? How you doing, buddy? Joe and I were just
I
talking about. Um, I'm getting my new pew pew safe delivered tomorrow, so I'm very excited about that.
for
It's
sure.
it's got very nice design, so like that was a big appeal to me. Like they thought like through a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
making.
And we're missing music in the background.
Oh yeah, huh? Let me throw that in there.
Yeah,
I
how are you
know.
guys doing? How are you doing?
There we go. What's up, Minded Milton? How you doing, buddy? What's going on?
What's up? What's up?
And Crispy Critters. What's going on, dude?
How is your week? How is you guys' weekend so
Yeah,
far?
man. What up, Dopey? How you doing, buddy?
My weekend is definitely
Oh,
busy.
oh yeah,
Was very busy. And Sherif knows exactly what I'm talking about.
yeah. Joe, at least it's coming to a closing of the
Conclusion.
chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Conclusion. Yeah.
it's very
Nothing
good.
fancy, but just some family business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything for 4th of July, by the way?
Actually, no. Are you doing
Good.
anything for 4th of July?
Me? No, God. I'm boring. I'm like just working and that's it.
No, it's very weird timing for 4th of July. It's on Tuesday, which is it's the weekends the weekday start, and then you take another 1 day break and then start again.
Yeah.
And usually for us, we don't have break, man. We just work
Yeah,
and work and work. Yeah.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
plus, we have a race coming up this weekend.
Yeah, for Formula
So
One.
yeah, so that's that. We don't really have much break. And plus, I'm going to having a new channel coming up, so I'm not gonna have a lot of break for sure.
Dude, Joe, look, you even Dopey. We were just talking about this
Yeah,
pre live. I don't know
yeah,
what it is, man. Dopey, I feel you, brother. Okay. I didn't want to get into it too much, but like, there's a weird vibe going around where it's like one step forward, two steps back, one step forward,
mm,
10 steps back lately. And it's been really frustrating me. I was actually thinking about doing like a mental health video on my own channel for tomorrow, kind of like talking about that because it's been really frustrating. So
yeah,
if it helps you out a little, Dopey, just knowing you're not alone, that's kind of the vibe. Like I've been going through it for some reason. My dad's been going through it. Joe even has had some frustrations with it, like recently. So you're not alone, brother. You know.
yeah. I mean, my frustration is not that it's not a worse, but it's still.
No, that's the thing.
Yeah,
Frustrations are frustrations, man.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
or bad days are bad days. Like it's everybody has their own shit, you know.
yeah.
So yeah, dude.
But so
Dopey,
far,
that's
so far so good. We are at Wednesday, so
yeah.
things is moving slowly. I can't believe it's half of the weekday gone by already.
Half the weekday and half the year, man.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
It's nuts, but you know we survive. We try and keep moving forward. Toby, I hear you, brother. That's a rough one, man. Like, reach out, man. Definitely reach out. Don't go through all your shit alone. Uh, so if you need somebody to chat with, dude, like definitely let me know. Um, but yeah, man. So as far as Dopey is coming in here for some distraction, Joe, what can we give him to distract him with in a design context?
Let's just give them a hell design content. In deep design content to suck all the brain out.
Yeah, that's true, man. Like thinking deep about design will get you to like not
Yep.
think about a damn thing else. I
Yep.
agree.
Yep.
Well said, man. All right, let's see. Well, if that's the case, then I'm gonna pull out a motherfucker of a document.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's right, man.
Uh-oh.
Where is it? Just gotta make sure I have the most recent version. All right, bitches.
Ready? You guys ready?
You guys remember this?
Oh, man. I hate to remember it. I mean, obviously, we have to. It's very used to us, but still, when you see it, it's kind of intimidating.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's a motherfucker of a document.
Yep.
So let's do kind of like a whatchamacallit, like a top-down deal again. Let's say, is there anything else that has kind of changed recently that can affect all of this stuff, man? Dopey, there are no secrets, man. I've been putting it all out there. So I wish I could give you some insider knowledge, but there really isn't any. Just working on the damn website. Okay. I'll say this just so you guys know before we get back into the design talk. Basically, I just want to strangle and kill my website guy. It's something that I'll say kind of privately. But aside from that, yeah, like the motherfucker should have been working on stuff like a month ago, and we're.
Hey, yeah, Sherif's gone, and it's just me. What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Sherif's back. Not
Yeah.
only me again.
Yeah, apparently I hit the button on my freaking mouse. But anyways, yeah, so I want to fucking kill the guy. You're supposed to do shit a month ago. We're finally doing it now. And he's delaying my release with like just these are problems we could have been dealing with like a month ago plus.
Like listen, learn. Next time you should just have a contract says if you obey your contract or something, if you didn't deliver, you have to get charged by.
Yeah.
You have to pay or something. Just have the contract there.
Yeah, exactly. So this just yeah, I would say what Joe is saying is correct. If you guys, and for me, have agreements with people, make sure you have it in writing that they need to do things by certain times and dates.
Yeah.
And if they don't, they will not get compensation.
Yep.
They will essentially have to fulfill what they agreed to for free. Because, yeah. Anyways, so that's the update. But aside from that, yeah, let's get back talking about like deep design, good stuff. Dopey says, yeah, don't make the backpack a submersible. We completely agree.
Oh well. Oh well.
Definitely don't want to make a backpack submarine nowadays. But Joe, is there anything that you see? I mean, it's what's going on right now, kind of like
In the world.
politically.
I
Uh,
mean,
there
from
may be a coup happening in Russia.
maybe,
Maybe
maybe,
Biden is getting into some trouble.
yeah,
Maybe Trump is getting into some trouble.
maybe, maybe. It's all politics.
Yeah, like
Dude, politics makes people sad, man.
it does. It does. And I mean, I don't think it's any different than what we already have here with
Yeah.
the extreme leaders, political fragmentation, political distrust. I don't think that's any of that has changed or there's anything new there. Um, Nothing new in environmental.
Nothing really new that is coming up because,
Yeah,
like we said before, the world is just moving. It's just for some reason the world is moving quite peacefully within this month. Nothing
Yeah.
really happens.
thank God for that. We definitely
Yeah.
need a
Yeah.
break.
But
from
at
all
the
the
same
crazy-
time, it's very weird.
Well, yeah, because we've been so conditioned to
Yeah.
deal with like
Yeah.
constant craziness.
Yeah.
You know?
If you think about it, from the start of 2019 up
Yeah.
to now, literally every single year from 2019, we don't have a 2 month, at least 2 month peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not the pandemic, it's murder hornets. If it's
Yeah.
not murder hornets, it's Antifa.
like-
if it's not Antifa, it's BLM.
Yeah.
If it's not that, it's Ukraine. If it's not that, it's
Yep.
allegations against Trump. If it's not allegations against Trump, it's against Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. If it's not
Yep.
that, it's mass shootings. It's like,
Yep.
like shut up
Like,
already.
Can we just stop?
Right.
Just all of you bad people out there, just stop.
The news
One night.
people,
Yeah.
need to just stop.
Just take a break for one night.
You're right. But yeah, that's kind of like the good thing right now. At least in the grand scheme of things, it's a little bit more peaceful. So yeah, I don't really see anything.
I mean, aside from this,
This,
I can only say that the AI stuff is being a little bit died down now.
It is and it isn't, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the rate of development seems to have kind of like chilled, but on the flip side, or at least the rate of like public new stuff has kind of chilled.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there have been a lot of talks amongst like the leadership and who develop AI, kind of saying like, "Hey guys, like this is." Kind of like dangerous. We're getting to a point where we need to kind of like chill this thing a little bit,
And I mean, one other big news that I can think of is not politics, but it's the entertainment side of things. We talk about on the day that we were playing card, right? Sherif?
Yeah,
Entertainment side of things, Microsoft and Sony.
exactly, crispy.
It's has some big news recently.
Yeah. Have you guys been following that at all? The Sony versus here. I'm gonna change this over to this view. Nope, not that view. This view. And Joe, why don't you bring this up? Because like,
So you guys know, for all of you Sony fans and for all of you Xbox fans, this console fighting, it's been there for decades, and Sony is always the top dog, having all the exclusive. We'll discuss a bit about this later on the conversation. But having all the big exclusive, having all the third party exclusive, and Microsoft is just getting beat up for the past few decades. And finally, the last few years, Microsoft finally, it feels like they finally awake and then just wanted to fight back. And so they started acquiring big studios. For example, Bethesda, Obsidian Entertainment, all those big companies where they make Fallout 76 or Elder Scroll or you name it, big companies. And recently, they want to acquire ABK, Activision Blizzard King, which is the biggest company in the world aside from Apple's and Microsoft as for gaming industry.
Yeah.
Blizzard, I'm pretty sure Diablo, you guys play Diablo, COD, or World of Warcraft, all that good stuff is from Blizzard. And Microsoft wanted to acquire Blizzard to get their games on Game Pass and to get the exclusivity.
Yeah.
And so Sony, in the other hand, is mad. And why is it mad? Because Sony was saying, "Oh, Microsoft is going to buy out, and it's going to destroy the gaming industry against the consumer behavior," which is crazy. Because if you think of Microsoft, if you think of Sony, remember I said a lot of exclusive on Sony's hand. So the reason why Sony has all those exclusive is because they pay a big chunk of money to developers and tell them, "I will give you those money, and I don't want your games to be on Game Pass."
Yeah. Not just Game Pass, just Microsoft Xbox in general.
Yeah, in general. And that's the big reason why in the past decade Microsoft is losing to Sony, because they can't get the games here. They can't get the exclusive games.
Yeah.
They can't get the Final Fantasy here. They can't get Metal Gear Solid. They can't have God of War. They can't have Last of Us. They can't have all those games because
Sony's been super anti-competitive.
Yeah.
Which I get is not necessarily a bad business move. It's kind of like if Blade HQ wants an exclusive, model from a certain, company, or Smoky Mountain Knife Works. But, Sony's been going that extra step to say, we're going to pay you not to deal with this company, I don't mind, like, for me personally, I don't mind companies does that. It's part of the strategy, that it's a part of the board. Yeah.
Decisions that it's making up all the marketings and that's making up all these decisions and strategies. But the part that I can't get is that why? Like,
well, why only Sony can do it and nobody else can do it?
Yeah, exactly. Why only Sony can buy out companies and put their exclusive on it, and then they will be okay about it? But when other companies does it, for example, Xbox, then they have to go against it. I just don't get it. So that's the biggest. I feel like that's the biggest news aside from gaming industry. And why do I mention the gaming industry? I think it's kind of important for us as a designer to think about, because it's also entertainment, and it's also because gaming and relaxation and type of stuff is very important for us. And so it's also it also has to do with politics, I feel like. So it's chain reactions. That's why I bring this out, to see if there is any connections aside from this to our board.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I think the larger sort of like meta thought process, the thing is, though, toxic chat has been part of gaming for forever. You'll
be surprised. Actually, a lot of people are also, talking really bad things about Sony as well. It's not. I know there's a lot of Sony fans, and there's probably 1/3 of the world, like 2/3 of the world is Sony fans. But Xbox is they recently have a lot of advantages over Sony, and Sony is being very. It feels like Sony is being very anxious about certain things.
Yeah. So Patina, please elaborate for us. I'm very, very curious about like what you have to say on this particular topic. So Patina is a photographer. You know, I don't think that's your primary job, Patina, right? But like, it's something that he like. Patina is one of the best photographers in the knife community. Like, no questions asked, right? So he has a lot of gear. He knows a lot of stuff about Sony and the photography industry as a whole. So I'm very curious about this. So the reason why I'm curious is because, like, in our conversations, Joe and I have been talking about this larger sort of meta thought process where what Sony has always kind of like strived to do has been to isolate and insulate their consumer base.
Yeah.
And another way of putting it is Sony has always tried to be Apple.
Yeah.
Right. And so but they've never been really good at it for some reason. So ways that we can talk about or like references of this is like Betamax versus VHS, if you want to go like far enough back, right? Mini disc versus CD player, right? What do we call it? Memory stick versus SD card. Building proprietary hardware, like even in Palm Pilot days, right?
Blu-ray disc.
Yeah, so they've always had this sort of, we want to isolate our consumer base and we believe that the solutions that we come up with are infinitely better than everybody else's. And on some level, it breeds a degree of complacency within the company. But, you know, also they, in my opinion, a little bit of an arrogance. If you look at Apple, they kind of do the same thing. Well, not kind of, like, they kind of have the same attitude, right? Where it's a little bit of arrogance, like, we know better, we do it better.
Yeah.
Even though I use some Apple products, right? Like, some things I will use them because I do believe that, like, the experience is a bit better for my needs, but I'm not a slave to every one of their products. But that's what they want, right? Like, you use an Apple laptop, so you have to use their tablet, their phone, like their, you know, AI, Siri, you know, their accessories, and like all of that shit is kind of like unnecessary, you know? So it's very, and it also generates a degree of anti-competitiveness and anti-kind of consumer behavior. So I think the significance of what Joe's bringing up from like the meta and how it affects like design trends is that if Sony loses this case, right, then it also on some level may be the death toll for like these kind of companies being forced or forcing people into like proprietary shit, right? Because Apple just lost that with their Lightning versus USB-C in Europe. So the next iPhone is finally going to have USB charging, which is like, why the hell haven't you guys had that from the beginning, right? Like, every Android device on the planet has been using USB-C since,
and every PC, every Windows, every laptop,
everything uses USB-C.
But only Apple has their own it's like they want people to you know to be their kid.
Yeah. Exactly. So here's what Patina has been saying. Sony had a lack of attention to previous flagships. They're supposed to have major updates in software. Oh, interesting. And they just haven't done the major updates and software updates. Okay.
I mean, like Sony, it's a hardware company. At the end of the day,
Yeah. They're not
So-
great at software, in my opinion.
Yeah. and so I get why they wanted to push out all this hardware, still hardware
Yeah.
to make money. But then
Yeah,
again,
they want you
software.
to get the latest thing.
Yeah. So and then again, software is what drives the hardware to work.
Yeah. See, and I think that in that regard, that's what has kept Apple relevant versus, say, Sony's approach, right? There's no reason for, a company like Apple to put out a new iPhone every year.
But
Right.
they do.
Or
And
Samsung or anybody, right? But they do. But the thing is, at least they keep the software relevant.
but
Right.
then like Apple, what Apple does, it's actually very genius in the way they do stuff.
Yeah.
Force you to buy new hardware. The update on your phone, if you're iPhone, if you're Apple, if you're iPhone, they will intentionally slow you down.
Yeah, the whole planned obsolescence thing.
Yeah.
It's so
which is-
funny
Yeah.
because I remember when I was in college, with at Art Center, before I switched even to product, because that's when I used to have an iPhone. It wasn't until I switched over to product that I went over to Android. I used to bitch and complain about that to my friends. I was like, dude, I can feel my phone is slower after this update and blah blah blah, and everybody's like, no, why would they do that? You're just tripping. I'm like, no, I can tell. Like, it's milliseconds, but I can tell.
Yeah.
And then you'd get the next update and be slower and slower, and it's like, bro, like, you shouldn't need to update or buy a new $1,000 plus phone every year, if not every 2 years. Like, my fucking Note 8 is case in point of that. Like, this thing is from 2018. It's 2023, and I'm finally now thinking about picking up a new phone.
Dude, this phone, the Pixel 4 XL, it's from 2017, and I'm not changing my phone anytime soon. It still works very fast. Look at that.
Yeah.
And if you look, it still works surprisingly really fast. Look at that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not changing my phone anytime soon.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned this, Bettina, because Joe and I are both rocking Sony ZVE 10s, and there's their new whatever their new Z series, like
The Sony ZV-E1.
yeah, E1, So they definitely captured us as consumers for, specialty cameras for vlogging and, recording like YouTube content. And they really are right now kind of like better, but I can see how as like a professional photographer, that shift in market is really interesting. Another thing that Joe and I were talking about recently was like, if you look at Ford and GM just announced that they're going to retire the Camaro, right? And Ford has gotten rid of all of their cars, sedans, hatchbacks, everything except the Mustang.
And
Literally.
except SUV.
Yeah, it's all crossovers and SUVs.
Yeah.
So it's really, really crazy, but it seems a lot of companies are going for this, like, niche specialization, kind of, or not niche specialization, but uh, chasing the hot trend. And the hot trend in cars is crossovers, SUVs. Sony with their cameras is vlogging,
I mean,
YouTube shit.
obviously, vlogging is a big part of the current generation
Yeah,
right now.
yeah,
So it makes for as me as a designer, if I am designing Sony's camera, it makes
Yeah.
sense to
yeah,
design something for vlogging and to design something that is light enough for me to handle
yeah.
everywhere I go. It makes sense, but it's just interesting to see the shift from professional camera.
It's just I get it from a frustration point of view, right? Like they went hard in paint in the Alpha series.
Yeah.
They basically made some of the bombest professional grade cameras out there to the point where it pulled a lot of consumers away from Nikon, like the classical companies like Nikon, Canon, and Fuji. And even some people away from traditional film, like medium format stuff as well. But the for them to abandon that market in pursuit of the new market is a problem for sure.
But then Sony's camera in this part, I don't think it's a big problem, to be honest, because they still they have the vlogging camera right here, but they still have the professional camera like the A7 III is. The A7
But that's what Patina's saying, is that
Yeah.
they're not supporting them. Even a year later, like software wise, they haven't provided any like software updates, even for cameras that are like a year old. They're just
But
like
then it's still
updating
it's
them.
but then it's still useful. So I don't know what they're thinking. So
Yeah. What up, Winchester? How you doing, brother? Welcome. So I don't know. This is really interesting, and Patina brings up like a great point. That wait till cars depend on software.
yeah,
Like,
we had this conversation the other day with you, me, and Thomas actually about Tesla, specifically Tesla, because Tesla is running mainly software,
mhm.
and like I'm just gonna get straight into it. The interior of Tesla
Sucks.
sucks, and what if the electronic die?
Right.
Yeah, and Volkswagen, it's doing the other way, right? They are
Mhm.
trying to bring back physical touch.
Yeah, physical buttons.
Not software anymore. So
Yeah,
thankfully, actually, a lot of some of the industry people knows about this. They notice that this is gonna be the problem. So
it
for
is
us
gonna
as
be a problem.
yeah, so for us as a designer, as you, me, and Sherif, like we're happy because we still need to keep the physical and the tradition of design and object. We can't just rely on software that much.
Yeah. And dude, Patina makes a great point from the camera world. And this, by the way, real quick, is something that I want to point out that is really important in terms of design. It's what's called lateral thinking, right? Like you can look and see what applies in one industry and understand how another industry is going to evolve based on what you see happening in one, right? Because
Right.
it's not like human nature or corporate nature changes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, so what Patina is saying is that like some of the updates were offered as a feature down the road and never came to. So people paid for something that wasn't offered, kind of like a governed camera, right? And so this is really interesting because talking about cars, right? Like imagine, you know, somebody buys a car and they have some sort of like promise like future feature software update, and the company decides to drop the ball and not offer that software up, like not offer that feature in a software update. Like that's crazy.
Like this type of phenomenon, you can also see it in gaming industry.
Yeah, exactly.
Like just Call of Duty, let's say. Remember they were saying, "Oh, we're gonna update you this and this and that," like painting a bigger picture
Yep.
from the beginning of the release, but then it never came.
Yeah.
But then again, you already pay for it. They
Yeah,
get your money.
that was my issue with I can't remember which Call of Duty it was, but basically like they promised like regular season updates, and it was right when Warzone came out,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden the season updates for whatchamacallit, for multiplayer just died.
Yeah.
And they stopped offering the updates.
Yeah.
You
Or
know?
even worse, like
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know Cyberpunk. That's the biggest news
Yeah.
in the gaming industry
Yeah.
within these 2 years. That game came out, the game when they show it in E3 2019 or 2020, I don't remember. But when they show the game, it looks so good. It looks like it's going to be the future of gaming,
Yep.
and people are so hyped. So I paid the money to pre-order it.
Yeah.
But then when it came out, it's like, wait a minute, this is not the same game.
Yep.
It's not, and it's got so many bug fixes. Even to now to this day, today, just last
Yeah.
month, we have patch just trying to fix the game up.
Yeah.
And the reason why they did that, it's because the business people and the gaming people they have different mindset.
Yeah.
The board of director, they want the game to be out as soon as possible because they can get the money.
Yep.
But the people who make games are gamers.
Yeah.
They want to have quality games, so they are fighting, of course.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
ultimately, the developer needs to listen. They need to listen to the board of director because they are
That's where the
top.
money is.
Yeah. That's why a lot of games nowadays are like half finished.
Yeah.
Literally
Exactly.
half finished, and then
Push
us as a
out.
consumer, we are the white mouse. We have to be
We're the beta
there.
testers.
Yeah, we are the beta testers and test the game on retail price.
Yeah. Yeah. And then this is exactly the issue, Patina. So I have a great example of this from my time doing drone stuff. There was one company in particular that was notorious for this from a hardware perspective. They would essentially pump out new flight control boards, right? So for those of you guys who don't know, like the way a drone works is you have 4 motors. Those motors are connected to what's called a speed controller, individual speed controllers. Those things interpret signals and change the direction or the speed of the motors, right? That's connected to the brain, which is called the flight controller. And so this company was notorious for constantly kicking out like new flight controllers all the time, new features, new circuitry, new like voltage regulation stuff that was really important, all of this, right? But they would fuck them up constantly because what they would do is they would kick out a beta product. The idiots would, of course, buy them in mass, right? So they would sell like thousands of units, and they would just sit there. The company would sit there on the social media websites, be it like Facebook groups, Instagram, whatever, and just see how their product would fail, and then they would introduce V2, introduce V3, you know, and all of that stuff, and they use the public as their beta testers.
Yeah.
And so they would constantly, like, you know, by the time you got version 4 or version 5, the product would finally work, but you had like 3,000 plus units, you know, out there in the wild that were failures
Yeah.
before then.
That's a very common way of doing things nowadays.
Yeah.
And like, I want to get back to Tesla topic again. Like,
what up, baby?
Like, they like somebody in the comments says, I don't remember who, Dopey.
Yeah.
Like, he says throttle the Tesla, the throttle the car if you don't pay, you know, even though it's all software updated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they do things because they want you to pay more.
It is. It's true.
Yeah, and
It's
like
true.
like a lot of the software, even though it's in a car, it's already there. You can't use it, even though you pay the whole thing. You have to do subscriptions, which is crazy to think. Subscription based.
Dude, I am not subscribing to my fucking car.
No,
Like,
I pay the car. It's mine.
yeah.
I want the car to be 100% work. I don't want it to be like, oh, you have to pay a certain amount of money to unlock 50 more horsepower or 100 horsepower. No. You give me everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And even autopilot, it's like that thing is in there.
Right.
But
Right.
I have
Dude,
to pay.
I shouldn't pay you $50,000 and then have to pay a subscription service, you know, for. But you know what? It's just like we were talking about with the games, right?
Yeah.
You pay, you know, whatever, $60 for your game, but then if you want constant updates for the new seasons and to get the new maps, the new guns, the new, you know, meta stuff, then you essentially have to pay for the new seasons, and that's how it works, you know. And I know the car industry wants to do that because it costs money to have a team of software devs who are constantly working on new stuff. Like, how else are you going to pay their salary, right? Like, that's the fundamental truth of the world right now, is that, like, hardware doesn't make you money anymore. Software makes you the money.
Yeah, I can give you a crazy example. You guys know about Diablo Immortal? If you know, please let me know if you know. And if you know, you will probably know what I'm gonna talk about. Diablo Immortal, like that game is free. It's on mobile. It's on your phone. But then you have to pay. It's a pay to win game. So basically, you go into a game. If you don't pay, you can't upgrade. I mean, you can still upgrade your gears and your characters as far as damages and, you know, those goes. But then if you pay, if you don't pay, you don't get the drop as often. Sometimes, like, people complaining, like, if you don't pay for such an amount of money, you don't get a drop for like a month. Just constantly shit stuff for your gears. But then if you pay 1 day or even 2 days, you'll get stuff. At least it's good gear. And approximately, like, there's a YouTuber, he lost like $100,000 just in that game.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, and he still didn't have his character to the max.
See, and it's unfortunate, but that's exactly where it's going, right? And Dopey, to this point here, right? Yeah, they already built the hardware. They could give you everything, but it's exactly where the world is going, unfortunately. And maybe that's something that we need to like throw on our design, whatchamacallit, our chart here, you
Yeah.
know, that
Like,
but it's interesting because I don't see it as like a consumer trend.
I
Like,
mean,
it's not a consumer choice,
it's
you know.
what this is about as the branding goes for the consumer to. We don't want the consumer to pay and we don't want to do this type of stuff to the consumer. We have to be aware of that and
We don't, but at the same time, the counter
yeah,
argument is how do
yeah,
you make money long
yeah,
term,
exactly. So it's
right?
those grab and pull, like
Yeah.
going one step going forward, two step backwards, that kind of stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like frustrating, right? Because the world of hardware stuff, like physical objects, right, doesn't make money in the current world and the current like business meta, you know. Like you can, don't get me wrong, there's clearly like big companies who are doing it,
It's yeah, and
but
there's nothing wrong with subscription based model. Look at Microsoft, their Game Pass is a succeed, and look at Netflix, their stuff is it's doing very good job.
but the
And
thing
so
is those are all like OG software based
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
right? So like the concept of having like software and being software oriented from the beginning and only software makes a lot of sense,
yeah,
right? But like to do it from, like uh, uh, like a mixed platform is
right.
kind of the challenge, right? So again, let me kind of show you. Like this was honestly like a bit of the problem that I had with growing
Bless you.
my thank you, my drone company, right? So here, like I can show you guys a little bit of some of this stuff. The world of drones is pretty straightforward, right? All of these are drones that you can buy ready to fly right now, or they'll need basic little additions, like a controller and some video goggles, but ostensibly they're all the same, right? So you look at something like this, and it looks complicated, but it's not, right? Right here, where my mouse is, that's the radio. Underneath it is the flight controller. Underneath is the speed controllers, and you have 4 motors, and a camera, and you have radio antennas. That's it. Like, there's nothing revolutionary about them, right? So again, here's your flight controller, your speed controllers for controlling the motors, your 4 motors, your camera, antenna, done, right? What makes these things capable of doing anything interesting is the software,
Yep.
So like you can throw on pretty lights, you can throw on 3D printed parts like this guy, right? But what really makes this thing game changing is the software, And the thing is, not beta FPV, sorry. The software is open source, completely open source. These guys are all developers right here, who put in their own time to develop it and, have it continue working and all of that good stuff. But it's an open source software. So there is no avenue towards making the the thing profitable, in the grand scheme of things, right? And maybe that's what needs to happen with some of these industries is
Yeah.
that, like, you know, the uh, the software needs to go open source in order to prevent fleecing the consumer, right? But
Right.
I don't see Tesla going open source
No.
anytime soon. I don't see Porsche, Ferrari, Ford, GM open sourcing their software side of their car company.
Especially Tesla. I don't think they're gonna do anything about that.
Oh God, no! Oh God, no!
They are willing to,
Thank you, Kibo.
like, for me, Tesla and Apple and Sony, they are all the same. Somehow they are all the same. It's just same mentality, same, like, I mean, they look up to each other, obviously.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
look up for Apple look up for Sony, and then the other way around.
So yeah, like I don't know what to call that, but there's definitely at least if not a consumer trend, there's definitely, so going back to okay, so let me explain this, by the way, because there are some new people in the chat, like Crispy Donut Community and Cue Ball. I don't know if you've seen this before, but this is essentially a design document, where we look at things from a large scale, and we try to find the interconnections, right? And those interconnections can lead to insights. So it's like a design practice. We're looking at backpacks, right? And you'd be surprised, but you can find connections from what's happening on a global level to generate kind of insights into what the next generation of backpacks are going to need. So a good example of this is, on the political spectrum, we have like extreme leaders, political fragmentation, political distrust. This is leading towards, civil unrest, and people being like more concerned about being like situationally prepared. And this in turn leads people towards wanting things like concealed carry lifestyle products, So one begets the other, begets another. And so I'll give you a perfect example. I have one right here. This is a 511 bag. This is one of my gun bags, right? One of my pew-pew bags. And right here
Pew bag.
on the chest, this is a quick access for having a concealed carry, right? So right there on the chest, this thing is, you put your pew-pew inside, it's got a rip tag here, boom, open it, quick access, and you can defend yourself, right? So rather than having to have like a holster, you can carry your pew just like this. And 511 actually sells this by itself, kind of as like a belly bag, or what are they called? The ones that fanny pack. They sell it as like a fanny pack. So products like this may have a greater future than they already do. And, somebody may be able to use this for something else, but if it can also serve the purpose of being, a concealed carry, then now you have a bag that has a unique feature, that is relevant to kind of where things are going in today's kind of like crazy world. And all of this can be derived from looking at these trends that are happening on a global consumer and design level. So that's kind of what we're talking about with all of that.
You'll be surprised. Like, even though it's just a backpack, it can go really, really in depth as design research goes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're trying to see here. Is there anything that we are? Yeah, boom, exactly. They make Kevlar for kids' backpacks now, which is
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely.
Yeah.
But actually, that's really great insight. We can actually put that under material trends. We can say Kevlar kids backpacks, you know, which is really
Sad.
sad. Yeah, but is also, you know, really relevant towards what's happening here, you know. So we can connect that. Nope, that's not what I want.
Very, very sad.
Yeah, like we definitely shouldn't need that, but oh yeah, here it is. Connect Kevlar kid backpacks, but it is a trend. It's what's happening in response to, you know,
Yeah.
civil unrest, and we can actually even put. I would actually argue a lot of mass shootings are kind of political. So we can put that into Kevlar kid backpacks. God, just even saying it is kind of depressing. I'm not gonna lie, like, Jesus Christ.
Oh well, this is the world that we live in right now.
Yeah, it's true. What else? We said self-protection. Is that linked? Yeah, that's linked. Okay. So yeah, exactly. You have to, and that's the interesting part, Bettina, because like part of what we part of what we've been talking about is like I have bags for everything, you know, and there's no one bag that really does it all. Like, I've got my peak design bag for like photography, you know. I've got my 511 bags for, you know, like travel and bug out. I have this guy is like a bug out / range bag. So it's like, dudes, can we like, I'm not a woman. I don't want
So many bags.
I don't want so many, you know. I'm not supposed to have purses, man, but I feel that way. You know? No, cue ball. What is a Gemba walk? I'm very curious, actually.
I have no idea what that is. So let's find it out.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. I dig this. This is very interesting. So let's show what cue ball is talking about here. Let's talk about this a little bit. So basically, it's a workplace walkthrough which aims to observe employees, ask about their tasks, and identify productivity gains. Comes from Japanese for gemba or gembutsu, which means the real place. Literally defined as the act of seeing where the actual work happens. So interesting. Yeah, this is very similar to design approaches, actually. You know, if we were going to go and do like an analysis of an industry, this is exactly what we would do. You know, we would, look for kind of a theme. We would prepare to kind of like say, okay, I want to see this department, I want to see that department, I want to see this department. You know, we would not prepare the team. Actually, though, we would want them to kind of be a little surprised by our presence, or not surprised, actually, even to not notice us at all, and then kind of record observations for ourselves, and then this part, the schedule of follow-up, we wouldn't do, but then we would also excuse me, we would identify like interviewees for sure, so we could get some like deeper insight. Like I've done this in a corporate design sort of facility before, so this is actually really cool. I've never known about this Gemba walk. That's dope. Thank you for telling us about it. Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate the bless yous, man. I've had something in the right side of my nose all day today, between driving and even at home. It's like the allergen is stuck in there for some reason. And yeah, thanks, Dopey. That's exactly what I was trying to avoid, is having a ton of bags, man. Petita, yeah, but 500 pounds? Because
or $500.
$500 I get for if it's for camera gear, because you need to have protection and storage options. But 500 pounds also wouldn't surprise me. And yeah, dude, I can see that. It's for continuous improvement, absolutely. That's a very, very interesting concept, the Gemba walk, and I can see how it's also very Japanese for sure.
It's very Japanese. It's very, very Japanese.
And yeah, Maddie, I was asleep. I'll just touch on this briefly again because there's some new people in the chat, but Joe and I have been kind of noticing that the theme lately has been one step forward, two steps back, and that kind of got to me a little bit today, kind of frustrated me. So I was up from 6 o'clock this morning. I worked until about 3 or like 2:33, and I just decided, you know what? I'm so frustrated. I'm just gonna sleep. Yeah. So.
No, that's a perfect. That's good actually. Just go to sleep and just have a nice break for a little while.
For sure. But yeah, so anyways, so Cue Ball, Dopey, everybody, Maddie, oh dang, Cue Ball, I was just about to ask you, but yeah, Cue Ball, please get some rest. Absolutely love that you showed up, brother. Really appreciate it, man. All the best to you, and get some rest, okay? For sure. Yeah, dude, definitely go get some rest. Oh, no, cue ball. The question I was going to ask is like deep with all of this design research stuff. So I don't want to. I'm going to wait till you leave before I ask, so you don't feel compelled to stay and talk when you need to go rest. um, gotta take care of your mental and physical health, man. So rest is important for that, for sure. Absolutely, for sure. So in the meantime, Joe, you want to tell us what you're sketching on over there?
Yeah. Uh, you'll be surprised.
There you go.
Yeah, it's just trying to practice my ellipse.
Your hand sketching, for sure.
Yep, it is still rough, but whatever. It's sketching.
Yeah, dude, they're quick sketches, man.
Nothing crazy. But
Dude,
yeah.
I can tell you, I've been trying to practice with fountain pen lately. It's a very different approach. Very different approach, at least for me, because I'm usually very heavy on the page with like my pen or pencil, and fountain pen forces you to be light.
Light and gentle,
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
airbrush.
Yeah. And that's kind of why I decided to try it, because like it's a little challenging. So like my stuff ends up looking a little rougher.
Sometimes when we discuss about like design stuff, I
Yeah,
will start sketching, just
yeah,
sketching and just talk because that will actually, fresh up my mind and just try to be fresh as content goes. And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like it's sketching or like just even doodling while talking really helps, in my opinion, like kind
yeah,
of keep the brain working and like the process going, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So yeah, dude. Uh I feel you. I definitely feel you. But like here, like I'll show you, for example, how my uh like this is where my kind of um fountain pen sketches are kind of at.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like I'm trying to be like gestural with them,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
not sit down and put a lot of detail, just
yeah,
kind of trying to get the flow of things,
yeah.
and even like throw in some, just kind of like stuff like that. Be like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
there's some
just
clouds,
light,
some,
easy stuff.
yeah, 100%. All right, now that cue ball's gone, we can kind of like get back into it because, yeah, I definitely didn't want to. Cue ball's the kind of guy that he likes to engage in the topics,
Mm,
and like me, he'll be talking for a while, and
okay.
whatchamacallit, he will forget that he needs to go to sleep.
That's actually a good advantage.
Yeah, definitely. But he's got an interview, so yeah, good, sweet man, sweet patina. I love it. I love that people are taking on my. I've been teaching people about doing study models. You
Nice.
know,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
people have been
yeah,
hopping
yeah.
on the
Study
the,
model.
the
Study
study
model.
model train.
Yeah, study model is surprisingly very useful
Yeah,
from our experience. When we first learning all this type of concept and this type of progress as far as design goes, we're like, really use cardboard and just cut out, and is it really that useful? But yeah, it is useful.
Dude,
when you actually, yeah,
one of my number one most hated classes,
yep,
and it's one of the things that I use
most
so
recent,
frequently now.
yeah, yeah,
It pisses me off. You know?
yep.
Like I want to go back to art center and tell the students, just be like, hey guys, you know this class sucks, but if you're in product,
But you
like,
kind of have to, man. You kind of have to just
yeah,
stick with it.
like it actually pays off and you'll actually use it at some
Yep.
point in the future, you know? It just made me so angry.
And like study model, it's actually a part of design thinking as well.
Yeah, Patina, totally.
So it's yeah, you guys will get it. Like everything that we do here, design talk, sketching, everything is related to
Yeah,
the design world. Actually,
yeah. Kind of. I mean, like, well, we're just obsessed, you know, for lack of a better way of putting it, with like
yeah,
the approach, you know.
yeah.
But yeah, so is there any new trends again to kind of like finish up that document, you know? Because if we don't have any new trends, you guys and then us being Sharif and Joe, if we don't have any new trends here, then I think for our future lives, we can move on to
Yeah.
a new section, you know, or
I mean,
next approach.
as far as where we are right now, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah,
Just keep moving. But of course, this war is never ended. It's never gonna be ended.
it's true.
So whenever we see you see, like the design process, it's always like this. You move
Yeah.
forward, move forward, and then something happens in the role that you think, oh, it might be relevant to the design that we wanted to put in the design. Let's say,
Yeah.
like, you know, social or humanity or that kind of stuff,
Yeah,
or deliver a message through our design, and maybe that's within the role in the future, and then we can put that in. We can kind of just come back and then just, okay, can we tweak this here, can we tweak this there, and then just make it different. So
yeah,
yeah,
100%.
design process is never ended unless your product is out.
Yeah, and I mean, even then, technically, I mean, like, you have to freeze what you're doing at a certain point in time, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, what you're trying to make or what you're trying to get done will never get done.
You will
You
never
know.
get them. Yeah.
But it's true. Like, a document like this is kind of alive. It's constantly like breathing. Like,
Yeah.
some parts will fall off, other parts will get added, you know. So
Yeah.
something like this kind of has a life unto itself, you know.
It's kind of just, it's like a never ending process.
Yeah, yeah. What up, little brother Kit? How you doing, man? Yeah, so if you guys don't have any new ideas here, then we can kind of go into the next phase in our next live, and talk about how are the next phase of things, you know, which let me.
It's fun.
Yeah,
I think it's the most it's the most fun out of research at this point, because you will kind of see everything just coming to get together.
yeah, absolutely. Let me see if I have something. Really? I don't have it in there. I could have swore I had that in there. Man, I hate trying to find some of my old stuff, Joe. It drives me nuts, man.
Yep.
Jesus. Like, I used to have a document kind of called, like, my process. And that's what I'm looking for, is something that kind of, I wanted to show that, like, my process of, like, going through the stages, you know? But all of a sudden, I can't find it, even though, yeah, I have, like, a whole directory for that fucking class. Like, god damn it. So annoying. So frustrating. God, some of these old presentations are so dumb. Ah, here it is. Finally, motherfucker. Okay. It's funny because I searched for it and it didn't come up, you know? Oh, here we go. Yeah. Let's throw out some new materials. So we got X-Pack. And then you said Dyneema. Okay, interesting. So let me pull this up to share with you guys to see what Bettina is talking about. And then we can talk about the process. So over here we have this X-Pack, and it's inspired by advanced sailcloth technology, lightweight, durable, and 100% waterproof, which is very cool. There it is, used in some bags. Has an interesting pattern, that like X pattern that you can see in it. I'd be very curious to get my hands on some of this and see how it performs. So apparently we have 3 different versions. 4-layer laminate with a backing, interesting. Then the X3, which is a 3-layer laminate with a fiber reinforcement and a technical appearance. And then this LS one, which is sailcloth, abrasion resistant. Excuse me. Jeez.
What's going on?
Yeah. And apparently it is a sustainable, or they try to make it into a sustainable material. So this is definitely a very interesting material. I'd be curious to see more about it, or at least just like experience, you know? Let's see, climate neutral, low stretch, waterproof, 210 Diener face fabric, ideal balance of weight and durability. Interesting. And it comes in a lot of different colors.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'd want to compare some of this info, like tear strength and waterproofness versus like other stuff.
Yeah.
But definitely looks interesting. I definitely
For sure, we need to compare it to the most common materials,
yeah.
and also
And
the price and
I was just about to say, yeah, cost is definitely a factor.
Yeah.
This is a 3-layer version, 100% waterproof, climate neutral, post-consumer recycled polyester fabric. No color variations, but very interesting. Looks to be, I need to double check this, but it looks to be similar to the X4. This is interesting. They also have an abrasion resistance rating. Let's see, did the X4 have that? Oh, it did. Yeah, okay. Yeah, very, very interesting stuff, Patina. And then this is the Dyneema fabrics. Oh, God, I hate this. Can we stop getting these pop-ups? All right, 30% lighter than nylon and polyester, 45% lighter than aramid, which is cool. 15 times stronger than steel weight per weight ratio. UV water resistant. Interesting. Can be a composite, can be interwoven with denim. Interesting. Can be even done with carbon. Okay. Interesting. When it's mixed with the carbon, it resists shattering. Huh. That's very interesting. Application, apparel, footwear, gear, gloves, workwear, ropes, cables, lifting slings, paragliding lines. Interesting. Soft armor, hard armor, frag knit.
Interesting.
Yeah, soft armor. Soft armor protection against handgun ammunition, fast-moving fragments, and knives. Interesting. Stab-resistant solution. Huh. Okay. Dyneema definitely has my attention there, Patina. Very interesting. Sleep well, CDC. Yeah, Patina, if you have anything that you could send me, I'd definitely be interested. Man, definitely would be interested.
Very cool.
Yeah, this stuff, the Dyneema stuff in particular,
Yeah.
is really interesting to me. Yeah. I mean, dude, if you had a backpack that you could use as like soft body armor,
That would be cool.
you know, and then like
That would be revolutionized for the backpack industry. And
Yeah,
even for military use, if you think about it, it's like you don't need another layer of protection.
yeah.
And that
I
will
kind of
make the
see that.
weight lighter and more durable and more uh movable.
Yeah, dude.
But this
Okay.
material is still in development, right? So can we see anything that is very close on the market right now for this type of material?
So sorry for this guy. They do have where to buy. So uh, let's see.
I just want to see how they implement their materials in the product and what type of product
Right
sell it.
now, cut resistant gloves and nets. I'd say the cut resistant gloves may be our best bet. Uh, so these are companies that are already using their stuff.
Okay, so it means it's well known.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder. Let's see if we see. Yeah, ATG. Yeah, but yeah, man, I don't want to try out
Yeah.
like these kind of gloves. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like
No, can't do.
I want to try and kind of a more sophisticated product than just these. Dang, okay. Triple XL gloves? That's kind of crazy. But also, like, I wouldn't want to take a chance because, like, they don't list the technology here. Maybe
Yeah.
what they call cut tech is the Dyneema integration, but um, they don't explain it, or they don't like single it out. So I'd be very curious to try like a for sure something that's like for sure Dyneema.
I mean, this material it's a little bit later for
Yeah.
the design process goes. I mean, it's good to know it exists and see how you implement it, but who knows? Who knows what the product and the concept will turn out to be? Right?
Yeah. This is another one. Polar Tech Alpha. Warm, low weight, and breathes incredibly. Interesting. Let's take a look at it. Polar Tech Alpha. Okay, it's definitely been used in, well, obviously, yeah, North Face picked some of it up. Arc'teryx, yeah, that would make sense. Marmont, definitely. Specialized, yeah, that makes sense. A lot of these brands. It's apparently active insulation. It's developed for the U.S. Special Forces. Interesting. Constant warmth while allowing greater breathability during activity.
What is going on?
Okay. Regulates warmth, fast drying, lightweight, advanced breathability, compressible, highly durable. Nice. Very nice.
Very cool. All this material can be a potential implement.
Yeah, absolutely. I want something like this, but to do the reverse.
Yeah.
I want it to be constantly cooling me. For sure.
And I gotta say that is a really nice infographic right there.
Right?
Yeah.
I thought you'd appreciate that. Yeah,
Easy to
definitely.
read.
Oh, this one, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely very clear, Patina. I appreciate that for sure. Yeah, man. This I've heard of Polar Tech for a while. I know that they're used in a lot of stuff, but I hadn't heard of this alpha fabric. This is pretty dope. Definitely. Yeah, there's a lot of really crazy materials out there. I dig all of this.
Yeah. And it just you just have to see how all the researches and
Yeah.
the design goes, where the design will end, and wherever the design ends, then we'll use the material that is available.
Yeah. And like there are like bulletproof backpacks. But I think a lot of them rely on hard armor, like this one, where
Yeah.
there's an actual like level 3A, plate that's put inside.
Yeah.
But for me, I kind of dig the plates really define the shape of the backpacks, obviously, and yeah, while it may not feel good, I would much rather take more of like a John Wickish sort of approach of like the suit. Like, yeah, you're gonna get hit by a bullet. It's gonna feel like getting hit by a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
But at least it's not gonna go through your body. You know? Like I would much rather that. I'd much rather be knocked down than, perforated.
No, it's just how our concept will drive us.
Awesome, thank you.
Where the research will drive us as a company.
Yeah.
And then
some of
the
this
concept is out. We'll see what material is available for us.
Yeah.
Do the best.
Some of this stuff I'm definitely taking some notes because like it's also always been a fantasy of mine to like get into like men's clothing, and like I enjoy wearing suits, for example, but suits make your body cook, and it would be so cool to use some of this like new material technology to let you wear stuff, that doesn't make you cook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean, this is where research and early stage is about. Determine the research, determine the directions, and then use that directions to determine the concept, use that concept to determine materials, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, exactly.
It's never in design process. It's never material driven product. It's always the other way around.
Yeah, absolutely. So next, we really need to start looking at who are the like key market actors and who are the industry benchmarks.
Yeah.
So this is kind of what I was looking for in the process document. So, here we're going to look at like industry, or here we got to look at industry benchmarks, do like industry analysis and SWOT. You can go into consumer interviews after that, looking at what people use their bags for and what they need. Do market position analysis, and then you need to determine what is your value proposition.
Yep. What is your what is your world? What is your world?
What are you bringing to the market?
Yeah. What do you want to what what are you gonna deliver to your customer?
Mm-hmm.
Basically,
And even this portion here, consumer segments, could even go before
yeah,
value proposition, because you need to know what who your consumer is in order to really understand what your value proposition is to them. You know, and this is what I was kind of looking for as far as like the process document. You know, and then from there we continue to like really developing our full-blown strategy for market and developing the design conception itself, and then the execution phase is when you actually get the design done.
yep.
So believe it or not, there's still a good amount here
I mean,
before you even
this is
really begin
this is what
concepting it.
the whole design will go through
Yeah,
from zero to hero.
yeah, yeah, exactly. You know, so it's this whole process of going through these stages, kind of
Cool.
coming to your conclusion,
Yep.
and then you gotta look at the whole thing all over again. You know,
We'll kind of talk you guys through this and then show you guys
Yeah.
what it is, but this is not gonna be a one day, one night job.
no, God, no, most definitely not. You know, let's see, catching up with the chat here.
You have a lot to do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Usability is very huge.
Mm-hmm.
In the end of the day, backpack is a functional product. Like, gonna help you to use it. It's yours to use it. So it needs to be functional.
It's something that's definitely like capturing my thought process with regard to backpacks, right? Is like, and it's not something I feel I've seen. I could be wrong, but definitely something we haven't seen anything with these kind of like lighter weight like tech materials, but then with internal structure, kind of like a peak design.
Yeah. We haven't.
Right, like the peak design external structure, particularly like with my bag, it's not heavy,
Yeah.
but it's heavy. You know what I mean? Like it's if you were just to weigh the backpack,
there's a weight to it. It's not like super thin. Yeah.
Oh, really, Patina? Dude, shoot me some examples because I'm very curious about it. I haven't seen it, but then again, I'm not an expert. That's why we're going through this process, you know? And maybe there's a new way of doing what they've done, you know? But yeah, there's definitely, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, the photography gear stuff. Yeah, because like that is one thing I can say about like the canvas 511 bag, right? Even empty, it weighs a fair amount. The peak design, even empty, has a weight to it. I'd be very curious if there's a way of achieving what they achieve and significantly reducing the weight by even 50%, or more, What up, Chino Bandito? How you doing, man? Okay, brown buffalo. That's interesting. Never heard of them. But let me see what we got here. Let me share my screen. conceal pack, 21 liter EDC multi-cam backpack. Pretty standard profile. Oh, now that's interesting. See, we're seeing that that material that we were looking at, the X-Pack material. Okay. I can honestly say, just from an aesthetic sense, I don't like this, but I'm assuming that this is an internal. I'm willing to bet that's internal.
Yeah, it's probably internal.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Pretty straightforward design. Yeah, this is. Oh, I wonder if this is turned inside out, Joe.
It can be.
I think it is. I think it's because, like, if you look at this,
yeah,
you know. So I'm willing to bet you that's the inside. If you were to flip it inside out, you know,
it's probably another function.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, you know what? Maybe it's for if you lost in the mountain, you want some clear, you know, for the rescue to see you, because camouflage is very bland. But to have that in the wild wilderness, you're gonna be spotted very easy. That's probably one of their concern.
Interesting. Yeah, everything that this says right here is very interesting. A lot of adjustment, reinforced critical points, rainproof, stormproof, intention in mind, TSA compliant. Interesting. So this is a slightly different one. This one's ballistic. I don't know if the first one was. This may have slightly different external materials, but it also has that orange X-Pack internal, which I think is really cool. Okay. Yeah, I dig this. Definitely caught my attention here. So apparently they have like different versions. This is the X50 Stormproof X21. So I'd want to look into that a little bit. I dig this roll top one. That one looks sick.
Yep. That one looks a lot like my backpack.
Yeah, but more angry.
Yeah. No, mine is never meant to be angry.
It's this one is
casual and travel.
This is definitely my speed. You can see they have the X-Pack material up here on the top, and then this is like ballistic nylon down here throughout. Ooh, I dig this. Actually, I really kind of like this. I'm not gonna lie.
You're gonna get your purse.
As if I need another bag, really. Okay. Very interesting. Oh, and he does make, yeah, this is like a bigger version. And then this is small bag, like a 5 liter. Yeah, this is kind of like the Peak design.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. No, for me, these definitely are very interesting, and then this 28 liter roll top.
Also, they are not cheap.
No, 250 is not cheap at all. It's not cheap in the least. Oh wow, I totally missed this. I thought this was everything they had, but they have a lot more stuff. Okay. Dang, $200 for this though.
Sling.
Yeah. See, I will say this. One thing I do take as a negative is like, okay, you showed me how the top is open. Show me the inside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to see. Yeah, like you can use it as a cooler, as a camera bag, lunchbox, toolkit. You know, like I get all of that. That's cool, but like, show me the inside. I want to know what kind of space, what kind of stuff I can fit in there. You know. Yeah, this is like traditional sling. Again, the X-Pac stuff. Conceal sling. Okay. See, this is like a nice shot, but again, show me
Yeah.
like what I can fit in there. Like if this is meant,
Show us the actual capability.
yeah. See, and I see what they're trying to say here. Designed for and tested and refined with veterans, active duty operations, athletes, photographers, and everyday carry professionals. I get all of that, but like, let's say this is meant for being able to carry a pew, you know? Show me.
Yeah.
I want to see
Or
that.
just illustrate it. You don't have to have the actual thing there.
Right, exactly.
See, this is why like I feel like a lot of the design that has to be implemented in everywhere,
Yeah,
and especially this type of websites. This is why like also why Apple's website is so success. It's because they take consideration as, you know, like the website is actually their project and one of the product that they take meticulous care of it and shows everything presented very well and people will understand right away.
Yeah. Like, dude, Patina, if Brown Buffalo has like a retail location, I would be interested because, like, for example, I would love something like this if it can hold my ZVE10 with my 30 millimeter lens, for example, right? Like, this would be great because, like, I don't want to carry a big camera bag. I'm not going to be carrying like a bunch of lenses and stuff like that, you know? I just wanted to carry one camera, one lens, some memory cards, and that's it, you know? Like a get up and go bag. But like if it's padded, if it's got a nice design to it, like I'm down for that. But man, I do wish that they would show a little bit more.
Show some practical photos.
Yeah, and like this is dope as a travel bag. I dig that.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, look at the hardware. Everything's kind of like military spec. You got the QD quick detaches, you know, quick adjustments. Yeah, dude. Little bag or little section for keeping your shoes separate from the rest of your stuff. Almost like military grade sling. Yeah, dude. Like a lot of this is dope.
How much is
$375
for bag, right? For
duffel bag.
duffel
Yeah,
bag. So this is nice actually.
this is super nice.
I like recently I've been looking for a duffel bag actually.
Yeah, man. Like this is
yeah.
this is nice. I dig this. I like the thinking. This is like one of the best options I've seen thus far. For like all like from the photos, I know exactly what I'm getting. You know, kind of thing.
Oh, perfect. It's got a compartment for
Yeah, for your shoes. Very smart. Not enough bags have that, actually.
Yeah.
Dude, I dig the
This is nice.
multi-camo though one. This would be the one that I would go for sure. That's a nice bag. It's a really nice fucking bag. $375 is a bit expensive, but I'm not mad at it. Not at all, actually. Okay, yeah, usual stuff here. Apparently they're doing footwear. Oh, dude. I would rock something like this if he made it wide enough for my foot. I dig shit like this. Especially that it's so thin on the bottom. I would, you know me, Joe. I would rock these for sure. I would definitely rock these. Yeah, those are sick. Patina, dude, awesome. For sure. I would be very curious about where is it? I can tell you straight away. The waist pack, the concealed waist pack. If this can fit a ZVE 10 and my 30 mil, I can actually give you dimensions of exactly how big it would be. I'd be curious if this can fit it. Let's see, what was the other one? I'm a little less interested in this one, but this may be the next best option. The roadie sling, but I mean, I see it's sold out, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to get something like that. I mean, they do have this one, but I dig the multicam a little bit more. But this one would be my number one choice, the concealed waist pack. This guy right here.
Interesting.
Did you see this, Joe? They're based in Costa Mesa.
Yeah,
and they're apparently all handmade in Costa Mesa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And they even have classes for people who want to learn. That's pretty dope. That's actually pretty smart. Let's see what else they got here. Accessories. See, this is good stuff to know. Oh, okay. So this is like a little pouch that can Velcro, it seems. You see?
Yeah.
And then it can Velcro into the interior. I like that.
Smart solution.
Well, and when we were talking about modular accessories, that's really smart. Like, let's see, what about this? Yeah, similar thing, but for carrying your EDC gear. Yep, there you go. Magazine, some pens. Okay. Muzzle mask. That's an interesting name, but makes sense. Oh, here we go. So this is answering some questions for me. Nice CZ in there as well. Man, I may need to get a CZ one of these days, but that's neither here nor there. Ballet tray. Okay, dude, these guys are kind of after my heart. They're mixing the militaristic, kind of style with like design lifestyle products. I get that. I can get behind that. Yeah, Brown Buffalo, definitely on my radar now. And as you can see, they clearly use that X-Pac technology. Very cool. Very, very cool. I dig it, man. I dig it. Very interesting. Very interesting. That would make sense. I can see that. And guys, feel free like this. If there's an interesting company that is, yeah, doing really cool gear like this, I am always down to be in the know. You know,
Always nice to see, to know new technologies and new stuff that's implemented in the product, so it help us.
Yeah,
Find
exactly.
it in the future. Yeah,
Because
I mean,
we definitely can't know everything.
yeah.
You know.
It's either if you guys know any bad company that's do the worst backpack, let us know.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
It doesn't have to be everything. Doesn't have to be good research. You can give us some really shady companies, and then their backpack, and we'll look at it, and then it's part of research.
It is. Yeah. I definitely save these guys though because like they're doing some dope stuff. You know, like without a doubt. I'm definitely very interested in them now after seeing that stuff, you know? So, yeah, please keep me posted. Very, very curious, you know? Alrighty, Joe, we're about that 2 hour mark.
I guess next week we will start. If you guys want to hear us continue next week for the design process, yeah, we'll bring you some design process thinking.
Yeah, definitely. Cool, man. Thank you guys for joining us. We're gonna kind of call it a night there. Both of us have had busy days, hectic days, pain in the ass days as of late. So we're gonna chill
as usual.
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna go and kill some people on Call of Duty. I don't know. What about you, Joe?
See, I need to sit here and do nothing for like maybe 30 minutes.
I can get that. I can definitely get that. Alrighty, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for all of the whatchamacallit, info, Patina. Definitely badass stuff.
And also, for those of you who likes Formula One,
yeah,
we're gonna have just come back to us on Sunday.
Yeah, on our sister channel to this, Object Passion Motorsports. You know.
Yep.
So yeah, we will definitely be there, and yeah.
Yep.
Man.
Diablo 4. I was probably gonna get on Diablo 4. If not, Call of Duty. We'll see.
Yeah, man. And yeah, I will catch up with you guys in the DMs. Yeah, today was just an interesting day, so I was not on Instagram at all, but I'll catch up with you guys for sure. No worries about that. Alrighty, dudes. Peace. Sleep well.
And sleep well. Good night. Good morning for you guys tomorrow. Good something on the weekend.
Yeah, have a good 4th of July weekend, guys.
Yeah.
Don't hurt yourself with any fireworks.